on to another topic that ties into it, working out at home and then cooking at home. You know, you go into a box store, you cannot find a pressure cooker. You can't even find a toaster or a microwave oven. You know, everybody has scooped these up because everyone's cooking at home. I know we know the basic good food choices, but have you noticed that people are cooking healthier now, or what are your clients telling you?
Well, and that's the funny thing, because, you know, healthy is such a hard thing to explain, right? Like and not to get into the weeds on nutrition, but you can eat so many different ways, whether it's vegan to the new thing that's 100% carnivore, where it's just meat. People don't understand what healthy is. So when I see people cooking at home, my thing is I'm trying to get people to be simple, right? A crock pot is great if it's simple. It doesn't have to be 5 courses. Take the sugar and the high carb stuff out. And so, and I've talked about this. We had 6 weeks to focus on nothing, right? And so if we would focus on the health and learning a little bit about nutrition, I think it would have changed. You could totally change your life in that time period. Like me, you know, I made a huge change in 36 weeks. I dropped 90 pounds, but within the first 5-6 weeks, my life changed. Just the total way you feel and understanding nutrition. So I think I'm trying to get people to understand, hey, make a change, do something totally different, see how you feel, right? You have restrictions. You can't go eat at restaurants. You know, you can stay away from alcohol and other things if you want. And so this is a good time to figure it out. And I think we have a lot of people have to figure out what works.
That's a great point, because we could go, we could do a Google search and there will be 35 meal plans. It's like, if you want to get your abs to, look like this person who's got 2% body fat, you have to do A, B, and C. But at the end of the day, you're right. The choices, you can make the simple choices. And then I think what's really exciting is that with families at home, they're learning to cook together as a family, and the kids are participating. So they're learning that there's more to life than grabbing a bag of chips, when you come home from school because because you haven't eaten since 11 o'clock that morning,
Yeah, no, and I agree. There's so much more family time. I know that with myself, it's a huge part of our day now. We're spending so much time together that, we are cooking together. We're talking about the meals, we're eating, and it's a great time to teach.
And you had said something that I wanted to touch on, alcohol. There's a joke here, in New Orleans that the liquor stores are considered, an essential business, because people are at home all day and they need the glass of wine or the beer at the end of the day. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I know moderation is the key, but if someone who is really trying to make a difference, is that okay to do? What do you think?
So when it comes to alcohol, to me, the most important thing is what the body does with it, right? The body has to break alcohol down into sugars for it to process it. So if you're going to drink alcohol, you just have to realize that you're putting not only the alcohol, but you're putting sugar through your system. So it's going to spike your blood sugar, it's going to spike your insulin, and it's going to cause your body to produce cortisol. And when the body produces cortisol, it is going to store fat. So if you understand what that drink does, then you can make a better decision. To me, if you drink a half a glass of wine and that's kind of where you stop, you get what you need out of it. You get to relax, you get to sit with your wife and drink the wine. That's great. But, when you're sitting there drinking a whole bottle or a 6-pack, you have to understand what it's doing to your body. And I know that's a really hard thing for people to swallow. Most of my clients, the one question when we start working on nutrition is, can I drink? And I always say, you can do whatever you want, but this is the result of that drinking. So It's a tough one.
Yeah, I used to start with, let's just start with moderation and see how that goes. And if you can tolerate that, then, maybe slowly drop it down. I mean, that's with anything. That's with any I shudder to call it a vice, but if it's chocolate, You know, if you have to have that piece of chocolate, or you have to have something sweet after dinner, you know, to counter the salt or something. It really is. It's a matter of, well, let's see if we can taper this off, because I found that if you try to cut it off too quickly, then it almost comes back with a vengeance.
Right. Yeah, and again, that's a mindset thing. It's like everybody's different, and I usually ask the clients, hey, if we go 2 weeks and then we try a half a glass and we talk about it, right? Let's see how it works. And something that I use, it's one of my key things, is never two in a row. So if you have one drink, don't allow yourself a second one until the next day. You see how you feel, right? Never have 2 days of drinking in a row. And, you know, I can use that with everything. Never skip 2 workouts, never have 2, you know, and it gives you the chance to kind of stop and challenge yourself and say, do I really need this?
And then I've noticed that when people do that, when they actually do the 2 in a row, they feel either mentally or physically like they've done something wrong, or it physically hurts.
Right. Yeah. And they beat themselves up and
right.
themselves grace. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I already drank 2. I'm gonna keep going. And then they're mad at themselves. And then it's hard to get back to focusing on taking care of yourself.
And on that note, we are almost out of time. But Jeff, anything you want to leave with before we go?
No, look, fitness is such a big part of my life, and just talking with health with people, I love. I talk to people all day long about it. It's super fun, and just I want to reach more people every day. That's kind of my big goal right now.
Well, we thank you so very much for being our first guest, Jeff Norris, certified personal trainer. We wish you the best of all the luck in the world, and we hope that your client base continues to get larger and people continue to get healthy, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me.
Well, that will do it for our very first edition of Mission Fitness. We thank you for joining us, and a special thank you to our guest, Jeff Norris. And we will be coming to you again with more information on fitness and healthy choices and food and everything in between. And that subscribe button down at the bottom of the screen, go ahead and click on that and become a subscriber. Well, thank you again. I'm Leon Contevespri, and we'll see you next time.